Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Matt Lushbrook, founder of 1836 Property Management, here as always in beautiful Austin, Texas. This video is to talk to you about some upcoming changes we've got to procedures related to our property management agreements. So this is just for investors. Historically, we would reach out to you guys a few months before the tenant's lease would end and ask to update your property management agreement. Now, at some points, there were a couple pricing changes over the years, but mostly this was legal, language, environmental, or statute changes that we were having to update every time we renewed a tenant. So as you can imagine, for the property managers, this became a little bit not only cumbersome, but labor intensive because every owner, just as I would, if you wanted to renew a PMA, the first thing you're going to say is, well, what changed? The challenge is that some of these management agreements are a couple, 3 years old. And we have updated those at least every quarter over the last few years. And so tracking those changes over time became next to impossible. So the only response we would almost be able to deliver was, well, please hold the two side by side and just see if anything has changed. And we're happy to discuss it, be available, talk through any of it. We're not going anywhere. I'm not trying to deflect, but we can't go through 180 of those per property manager and then still respond to tenants' calls and deal with maintenance and everything else. And so it wasn't the best way to handle things, to be honest with you, but it was kind of what we were stuck with at the time. About 10 years ago, there was a change in the industry. And that industry change was such that terms and conditions were eligible to be updated with 30, 60, 90, or whatever days notice within the management agreement due to clauses that were put in there. And this was really beneficial to protect property managers in case something dramatic in the environment changed, right? If something became illegal or ill-advised, it may not have been enforceable at that point, but we would still be contained. We would still have that within the property management agreement. And so we needed to be able to move quicker if something did change in the environment, statute-wise or anything else, including minor changes in language like assistance animal or service animal or things of that nature. So we need to be able to change those on a faster basis, reduce labor so we can answer your calls, manage your homes, and be more present for you. And so what the industry came up with is this terms and conditions change, which you see with just about every service company that's out there now, whether it's your cell phone company, whether it's your lawn care provider, whatever it may be, your cable company, they all have these notices to terms and conditions that get updated over time. Now, every blue moon, they will contain pricing changes. And oh, yep, it's the end of the year and your pricing for Google services went up by $4.98. And you kind of go, well, that's not great, but it's inflation, whatever. I'm not switching because what are the alternatives? But the truth is, the vast majority of these are all legal changes that come out. And so we have been working through that. We've been including that in our management agreements for about 10 years, but we've never gotten to the point where we felt we could effectively send out those notices and execute those changes flawlessly. We're going to do our best to start doing that January 1st, 2025. So what we're hoping is that the vast majority of you guys will get something in the nature of pricing changes, maybe only once a year. And we could do that on an annualized basis if there's nothing odd in the environment that changes that demands that of us. When it comes to terms and conditions and all those language nuances, though, like service versus assistance animal, we need to be able to update those quarterly. So the most we would change these terms and conditions would be on a quarterly basis. You would always have at least 30 days notice, if not more. And we're going to send that out in not only a video format such as this, so you can be advised to check, but we're going to refer you back to a page on our website so that if you miss a couple updates and you go, what changed 3 quarters ago, or what changed last year, or how can I compare these? You'll always be able to reference that on our website to see the historical changes, the most frequent changes, and then pricing changes would be labeled on our pricing page as well as all that. But I'm really pleased to say, because pricing is the biggest concern for everyone when I make this video, that we haven't changed pricing in 2 years. The clients that had changes in the last 2 years were actually on contracts 3, 4, 5 years old. And so even though inflation's really hit our whole nation, we have been able to hold that pricing steady as we have gained some scale and added some technology. And it's really been wonderful to see. I think you'll notice that the spread between what we're able to deliver to you guys and what the competition is able to deliver is going to dramatically change, and the gap is going to open up over the next couple of years because of that technology fee. Some companies take that tech fee and just put it in their pocket and say, well, we're happy to make a little bit of profit. And some companies like 1836 take that, and we have been developing software for almost 4 years now. We're going to be implementing one next year that I think is really going to help the customer service throughout. It's going to be a massive change for you on the outside. We're starting with the soft rollout inside, and we're not going to actually make the switch until everyone is trained and it's official, but it should be able to give you guys so much greater level of service that when you call in, we'll be able to index everything, have tickets that we can create, we can track those tickets, and everyone in the system will be on the same page. So there's no more lost emails, lost communications. It will all be dialed in one place. So that's a couple of things we're doing for you. That's the video about the change that we're going to be going into January 1st, 2025. So if you ever see an email coming out, it says change terms and conditions, you should reference the website that we'll have for you. And if you still have questions, please set an appointment with your property manager. Just email and say, hey, I'd like to connect with you on this. I have a question about this one item. They could either send you a video back and explain it. They could give you an email to explain it, or you could simply connect, which is what we always want to do. So we want to be available for you. This will help us open up that labor. So if you do have issues, questions, problems, or simply want to reconnect on your long-term goals, we can be there available for you instead of pushing papers around the office and kind of chasing our tails. As always, we thank you so much for your business. We greatly appreciate your trust in us. We know that this is one of the largest investments you're ever going to make, and we are available for you. If you ever have questions, concerns, if you want to talk about your long-term strategic plan, that is what we love. So give us a call, give your property manager a call, and thanks again for your business.